Hello and welcome. Thank you so much for joining me for today's session, Organizing Your Holiday Decor, Storage Solutions, and Tips for Next Year. I'm Ashley Hines. I'm the founder and owner of The Tailored Life. We'll talk a little bit more about who I am and my business later, but let's jump right in. There are dozens of fall and winter observances and holidays celebrated worldwide with unique traditions and cultural and religious significance. Holidays offer us a time of rest and rejuvenation, of family, community, and social connections, reflection and gratitude, celebration and joy. They also have an economic impact. Holidays can stimulate economic activity through travel, shopping, entertainment, and help to boost industries and local businesses. Today and tomorrow are Dia de los Muertos, and we just wrapped Diwali, which generates a massive boost in consumer spending in India with around 4 billion, yes, with a B, spent during the festival season in 2023. If you celebrate Halloween, you likely still have your decorations up. That's totally fine. We're going to talk about that in a minute. And in Western countries, global spending on Halloween reached 10.6 billion in 2022, with Americans spending alone about 3.6 billion on costumes, with candy sales reaching 3.1 billion. Yes, and I add to that. I know I do. I love to give the candy to the kiddos. Who doesn't? In a few weeks, Americans will spend about 5.4 billion on Thanksgiving dinner, and around 55 million people will travel for the holiday. Finally, Christmas, the most widely observed holiday, celebrated by over 2 billion people worldwide in more than 160 countries. In 2023, it was estimated that 1 trillion, that is with a T, 1 trillion was spent on Christmas shopping globally, with the US contributing 920 billion of that figure. Those are mind-blowing figures. You may also observe Hanukkah, Kwanzaa, New Year's Eve, or Chinese New Year. In short, we love holidays all around the world. Whatever you celebrate this season and beyond this season, these decor organizing tips are transferable and inclusive. So let's talk a little bit about why organization matters. And I could obviously talk about this for a long time as a professional organizer, but living organized has many benefits. Very high level, it's gonna save you time, it's gonna save you money, and it can positively impact your well-being. And that's all the dimensions, your spiritual, your emotional, your mental, physical well-being, you name it. Organizing holiday decor can specifically reduce stress during what can be such a stressful time of year, right? I mentioned all those reasons we celebrate, but we know the hustle and bustle of the season can add a lot of stress. So organizing your decor can reduce some of that stress. It can prolong the life of your items, which I will emphasize is so critical, especially when we look at our observances and our holidays. Many of the things we're holding on to are heirlooms or traditional items, so we want to be thoughtful about how we store them. And it can make next year's setup even easier. So here's a little bit of what we'll talk about during this session. I'll share some tips for how to efficiently declutter, organize, and store your holiday decorations. We'll discuss sorting and categorizing, choosing the proper storage, and some space-saving solutions and thoughts for labeling and inventorying your items. And then we'll wrap up with some next steps for next year, just some thoughts about how to be more efficient with your organizing. We have a lot to cover, so let's keep going. So step 1, decluttering your holiday decor. I start every organizing process here, you all. So holiday decor is no different. I know it's only November 1st. So if you celebrate Halloween, again, that decor is still up, I'm guessing. But let's make some decisions before we put it back. So make sure you still like all the things that you put up this year. So is anything tattered or broken, worn out, or you just don't like fussing with it? Especially if you consider outdoor Halloween decor, which I know is very common. It may have been blown with the wind or the elements, and you just may not want to put it up again next year, and that's perfectly fine. So you can make those decisions. If you do think you can repurpose it or repair it, absolutely, but only if you can think you could do that pretty quickly. Otherwise, that's going to add a layer and a burden to you that you may not be able to fulfill right now. So recycle whatever you can. Make sure that you are looking at your local policies on recycling. Those vary. And then toss it if it's broken. This is your permission. If it is broken, you can toss it. If you, again, can't bring new life into it. And I think it's okay to just say, hey, this served its purpose. I'm going to let this item go. And do that for any, again, this is applied to any holiday that is of significance to you and your loved ones. Or is there something in this season that you didn't use because it's just not your aesthetic anymore? Which is also fine. Our style changes throughout our lives, and that's okay. You can be honest if this decor just doesn't work for you. Part of the benefits of holiday decor is that it can boost and add to your mental and emotional well-being. It's not going to do that if you just don't like the item anymore. So it is perfectly okay to let it go. And as long as it's in good shape, you can donate it and allow somebody else to enjoy it, which I think is really cool, and certainly a part of sustainability practices and things like that. So reducing the amount of decor will help with the storage and make next year's setup more efficient. It's okay to release things you no longer like. Remember, this is an excellent time to restock as well. So if you do release things, you can catch some of those deals. A lot of the stores are going to discount the items right after the holiday. So you can take advantage of some of those stores or some of those discounts from retailers. Once you know what you're keeping, you can consider how to organize it. So we'll jump into that right now, actually. So I recommend that you organize by the holiday. So that could be Halloween, for example, Christmas, Hanukkah, Chinese New Year, whatever you're celebrating during this time. Once the items you have for the holiday are defined, you can now manage them by type. So again, if I am basing it on Christmas, once I know what my larger category is, now I can look at, okay, lights, wreaths, or if it's Hanukkah, menorahs and dreidels or whatever it is, right? You can now look at this subcategory to better serve your organizing system. And even, for example, many of us have specialty plates and cutlery that we may use. So that's another category to consider. If you use a particular item across multiple holidays, let's say lights, for example, then you may want to categorize that more generally, and that's fine. You can play that by ear based on how much you're keeping. That will influence those subcategories. But commit to a system. That is what's important. Commit to a system because that will save you time when you're storing and retrieving those items later. If you don't have an overall system, that's what causes the frustration because you don't know how you should be looking for the items the next time. So definitely commit to a system. Once you've decluttered, once you have identified those categories, now you can think about storage. So I say invest in storage containers. I use invest intentionally because I do recommend, especially for holiday decor, that you get something sturdy, something that's going to be able to resist and kind of live up to the wear and tear. So I'm going to use Christmas as a case study, if you will, for this step, because that's quite frankly the holiday I'm most familiar with, I have the most decor for. But keeping in mind everything is transferable. So use specialized and sturdy storage containers and solutions. There are organizers for ornaments, and I'm going to show you that because I have it right here. So this is an example of an ornament organizing solution. It comes with these inserts where you're able to stack, and I'm going to show you that. You're able to stack all of the ornaments. I hope this is showing you. I think it is. But you're able to pile up the ornaments and stack those up. And so all of the ornaments that you see here on this tree fit into that box. So I think it is a very efficient way. It's a way to make sure that they aren't damaged while in the box. So it prolongs the life of your items. And you can also consider within that, if there are heirlooms or pieces that are, important to your family, you can wrap them in additional bubble wrap or tissue paper or fabric even to make sure that they have an extra layer of protection. So I definitely recommend one of those. There are also containers and bags for wreaths, for garland, and for Christmas trees. Those come in various sizes and textures. And they're just a really great way to make sure that those items stay contained when you're not using them. I love the storage solutions for wrapping paper and supplies too, so I'm going to talk a little bit more about that later. I wanted you to know what's on my mind, but I'm going to talk about that in just a bit. And then I recommend using clear bins for visibility. So often we're moving quickly, we're trying to get to it. Having these bins clear is so helpful to know what's in it. I actually have mine color coordinated, which I'll talk about as well. And so a color coordinated system for me is that the holiday has a certain color. So let's say, for example, Halloween may be orange or black, but then for Christmas, you may utilize red, or for Hanukkah, you may utilize blue. That sort of thing can help you when you're trying to quickly access those items and identify what's inside. I want to talk a little bit about holiday light storage. This is another big one because you do not want to have your lights tangled when you're trying to get to them. So I'm going to show you actually 2 examples. Give me 1 second. So here's the more like traditional method. This is what many of our lights come in. So I recommend keeping these spills, or not spills, spools. Spools are really helpful when you're trying to access them because you know that your lights are going to be secure. They're not going to be cracked and broken the next year. So I highly recommend this. You can actually purchase those. And then for a sort of just makeshift low cost option, this is just a cardboard box, and we use this for some of our lights too. My husband is really into lights outside the home as well, so we have quite a few lights. So this helps us, and this is just an old Target box. So you can definitely create these as well. You can also use Ziploc bags, which are really low cost and easy as well. And then you can label where those items go. We'll talk a little bit more about labeling as well. So step 3, once you know what you're keeping and you have some idea of the storage solutions you might need, let's talk about how you organize it. So, and I want to talk about this through the lens of space saving. There are some people who may have a dedicated closet or area for holiday decor, but many of us are using a shared storage space or a basement for our decor. So keep that in mind. But if you do, and actually I'm paused here because I have organized a closet, a holiday gifting closet for a client, and it was wonderful. So if you do have the space in your home, you could consider that a dedicated space. This included, and I wanted to get back to this included the solution for gift wrapping. I utilized a cart which had a section for wrapping paper and drawers for scissors and tape, and it was so efficient. This client enjoys giving gifts throughout the year, so it wasn't just for Christmas or winter observances, but it was for all year that she would have easy access to her gifts and her station. So do want to make a note that may be a great option for you as well. But again, most of us have our storage in a basement or a shared area. So you want to think about utilizing vertical space. Any organizer will tell you that there's only so much horizontal space you can access, but you can go up. So you want to utilize industrial style shelves and things of that nature to help you to, again, make sure that this can endure years and years. So shelves, hanging organizers are great for the back of your door, or they sell them online, just the ones that are fabric that can be hung on a door as well. So I definitely recommend that. But for your oversized items, such as your wreaths and your garland, your trees, definitely the shelving will help you. And make sure that the things that, for example, that you're going to utilize outside, if you do have storage space in your garage, I recommend that they go out there. That's just going to make a most efficient use of your time and your space as well. And that could be garage or storage shed. I also highly recommend vacuum sealed bags. I love these for storing items such as your stockings, your tablecloths, your table runners, pillows, blankets, tree skirts, you name it. Things that are cloth are gonna be amazing in these storage bags. So you get the bags, you take a vacuum, and it sucks out all the air so that you can optimize on your space. And then you could put those bags into a larger bin. But this would also allow, if you aren't in a larger home or just have limited space, that you could put those bags under a bed or into something that's a little bit more concealed under a space as well, under another shelf or things like that. So it really does help. I would also like to talk about, when it comes to kind of space saving and organizing tips here, labeling and inventorying. So even if you have the clear storage bins and bags, labeling can help you. Here's one of my favorite organizers, I will tell you, is the Brother P Touch Plus. I love it. It's just a larger label, and so that if you're quickly trying to look through your things, you have that, you can see the things very clearly. You could use chalk. They have the chalkboard tape and chalk markers, and that's an efficient way to utilize labeling. And it also allows for quick updating if it's something that may be changed frequently, not that frequently since it's annual holidays, but you get what I'm saying. It still allows for easier changing of the label. Otherwise, just like what I showed earlier, this bin actually has a little slip on it that you can write and put what is being labeled. So yeah, some of the storage solutions have the labels on them already. And this just allows you to quickly find what you're looking for. I also recommend, depending on how much you have, a digital inventory. So just making record of all of the items that you have. This is also good in case you're out and about and you see something. It will remind you if you already have that, because I get it. Unlike other items in our home, we don't see our holiday decor as much. And so it can be really helpful to track these items digitally for quick reference. Let's see. And it also helps when you're planning for next year because you can recall what you have. Store by frequency of use. So this is a big one. Again, a lot of our holidays, I'm going to take a sip of water. That's why I have it here. Thank you. A lot of our holidays are annually, but let's say you have something that is more frequent. You want to store by the frequency of use. And this is the case in any time you're organizing your space. So put the holiday or observance that you're going to use most to the front, put the things towards the back that you're not going to use, or even just if you're on a shelf, the things that you know you're going to need more frequently, or that just have more items with them, put those in an easier area to find, more accessible. So yeah, that's just a recommendation of the flow of things. And then even as you're organizing within your bin, and I'll talk a little bit more about this for next year, think about how you utilize it. So when we do our tree, for example, which we don't get a tree every year, we have a reusable tree, but we put the tree at the bottom of the bin, and then we'll put the lights, they're wrapped up next, because of just we're thinking about how we access those things and how it'd be easier to grab it out of the bin efficiently. Part 4 of my tips here is preparing for next year. So again, organize for efficient setup. Pack the decor in reverse order of how you would use it next year. So again, tree decorations and things, I'm just making sure they're quickly accessible, that it honors the process of how I'm going to utilize those things. Creating a checklist could work. So you have the inventory, but creating a checklist of worked well, so that you can maybe look at what I can improve next year. Any challenges that you were faced with that you could remind yourself. Again, we're not utilizing these items as frequently, so it does help to keep record and notes for our future self, if you will. Check and repair. So before you put back and as you're preparing for next year, we already talked about decluttering, but I want to emphasize here again to check and repair your items. If anything is damaged, you can release it or fix it, so that again, next year you're not stressed. It can be something quicker for you. And then clean any relevant items. So let's say you have pillows or blankets or table covers or cloth. Clean those so that they're not getting stained or things like that for next year. And just to prevent like dust buildup as well. So as we wrap, because we covered a lot today, I shared some tips for decluttering, organizing, and storing your holiday decor. I also talked about some space-saving solutions, labeling techniques, and inventorying. We also talked about preparing for next year and some quick tips there. So I hope that something I said in this time will help you streamline your holiday decor organization. I encourage you to think about what makes you feel good. I can't emphasize that enough. If something is no longer for you, it doesn't give you the positive vibes that you want during this season, it is totally okay to release those things. As promised earlier during our time, I was going to tell you a little bit more about myself and my business. So I'm going to do that. I am a healthcare executive, I'm an entrepreneur, I'm a community leader, I'm a wife, and I'm a mom of two. And I believe all of who I am, all these different components of who I am, helps me to guide my clients and others who I touch through community to live with peace, order, and intention and to foster optimal well-being through holistic home organizing. I've had the joy of being featured in Good Housekeeping, Apartment Therapy, The Spruce, and other notable lifestyle platforms. I would love to stay connected with you. You can do that by connecting with me on my website, thetailoredlife.com. That's THEE, tailoredlife.com. I have a monthly short and sweet newsletter, literally short and sweet, usually less than 3 minutes, that I would love to send to your inbox just to stay connected. In addition, if you let me know you talked to me here, I'll send you some additional little resource on the shopping and things like that I mentioned earlier. I'll just send you a little goodie to add to your holiday organizing journey. And then Instagram. Instagram is the other sort of platform of choice for me. So you can DM me and let me know you met me here and give me a follow. I would love to stay connected with you. So that's it for now. I hope that, again, something adds to your journey. Whatever holiday you and your loved ones celebrate, I hope that it brings you so much joy this season. And I want to thank you so much for allowing me to share with you. Take care.